Welcome to Yoga with Megan. Yoga and kayaking today. As you can see, I've got my kayaking paddle because we're very fortunate. We're going to go out kayaking. You may have seen in the B-roll our beautiful space that we'll be in that we shared with you. And perhaps you don't have your own kayaking paddle in your garage or closet. You can also get a pole of any sort, like out of your closet or even an umbrella. You can also go without it, but we're going to do some stretches that I would do before kayaking, and it'll all be standing. Although, if you prefer to do this class seated, you could do it all in a chair. I'm going to set that down for now. If you're standing, meet me on your feet and just take a moment to acknowledge your feet, letting your weight drift north, south, east, and west. We have to find our sails first, find our dimension. So you can go forward and back, side to side on your feet. It's like we need to have our sailor legs on before we hit the water. And then find that still point of center. And so kayaking, we often think of our arms, but really much of it is a torso movement, and it's the core muscles that we're using. So consider taking your hands and place them on your rib cage. See if you can direct your breath into your rib cage. So belly would be down here below the diaphragm. We're trying to breathe to the chest cavity above the diaphragm. And see how that feels all the way around. Like if you had an inner tube on right now, what does it feel like? Or a life jacket. I could put mine on for you, just for kicks and grins. Breathe all the way around the circumference of your rib cage. And then see if you can direct your breath a little bit more into the left side. And as you breathe into your left side, left lung, kind of stir that forward or paddle that left side forward. Keep your knees soft. And as you exhale, draw it back. And then breathe into your right side, maybe both sides, but right lung. Paddle that right side forward. You can bend your right knee. Exhale, draw it back. So think of moving from your torso, letting your legs respond. Inhale, left ribs come forward. Exhale, back. So getting that feeling of being able to freely move through your torso. And you can make it a little bit bigger, bend your knees more, take your elbows forward. And if you don't want to keep your hands there, just start to swim the arms a little bit, like you're swimming in place. Inhale, reach forward, one side. Exhale, come back. Inhale, other side. And then we'll come back to a center position. So we've got our juicy center. This is where we're going to move from. But we'll do a little bit more specific shoulder stretching. So we're going to take our hands, and I like to do the hands and arms because we tend to really grasp quite a bit in kayaking, so my fingers get grumpy. Think of just your left arm, and as you breathe in, externally rotate your left arm and spread your fingers as much as you can. Feel that stretch all the way through the palm of your hand. Externally rotate, reach back. As you exhale, you're going to internally rotate and make a fist. So inhale, externally rotate, open your hand up. Exhale, internally rotate the arm towards your heart and make a fist. So start with just that left arm movement. We're going to add the head to that. Let's get our neck involved. I find sometimes my neck gets a little pinchy when I kayak if I don't use the right muscles. So now we're going to start to follow the hand with the head. So as you inhale and externally rotate and take your palm up, look back at your hand. You'll feel a nice stretch through the right side of your neck, compression in the left. As you exhale, internally rotate and look away from your hand. Feel a little stretch through the left side of the neck. Inhale, look at the hand. Exhale, internal rotation, look away. See how that feels, and let the rest of your body respond. Let your torso respond to the arm movement. You can notice your shoulder and your whole shoulder girdle might want to go back and take a little rotation behind you and then forward. And then we're going to continue this. Think of that water, the flow that you can find. But we're going to change the direction of the head. So now as you inhale and externally rotate, look away from your hand. You get a little more stretch in the front of the collarbones here around your pectoral muscles. As you exhale, internally rotate. And look down at the hand. So compress that left side of the neck. Right arm is just on holiday. Inhale, open up, look away. Exhale. close and kind of tighten that left side right around the pectoral muscles. Again, this could be done seated too. But just finding the movement of your arm and the way it comes into your shoulders and your torso. Last one. On this last one, when you internally rotate, just take the hand behind you on the internal rotation. Pause for a moment. You can take the hand on your low back. You might even clasp your right arm with your left hand. If you want a bigger stretch, you can slide the left hand up the center of the back. And just breathe right into the head of the arm bone in that left side. Take a few breaths there. Feel that internal rotation. Steady on your feet. And release that. Let it come down. Maybe bop your shoulders and notice any difference in the two sides. I've got two friends coming in. Hi, friends. I think they're going swimming. Have a good swim. So the second side, we're going to be working with the right arm. So it starts with that external rotation on the inhalation and spread your fingers. Feel it all the way through the hand and the wrist. And as you exhale, internal rotation. So notice you're moving from your arm, but letting your shoulder girdle respond. Finding it through the arm and then follow the hand with the head. Look back. And then look away. So hand follows the head. So as the arm externally rotates, I'm going to look at the hand, kind of rotating to the right, following the hand. As I internally rotate on exhalation, I'm going to look back behind me, kind of twisting to the left. So let your hand and arm guide your torso from right to left. Notice the stretch in your neck. Left arm's hanging in the balance. One more. And then see about switching the direction of your gaze. So as your arms externally rotating, you're reaching back, look away. Like you don't want to see what's in your hand. And then as you exhale and roll it in, look down at the hand to kind of squeeze that right shoulder. You can even bring the shoulder forward. Compress it. Inhale, spread it. Nice stretch right around the collarbone. Look away. Exhale, squeeze it. For me, these are really important because, like I said, I tend to get some nerve stuff going on in the brachial plexus here, all the way down the hands. So just freeing up any of those nerve entrapments before we clasp a paddle for several hours. Taking a few more. Last one. And now as you're internally rotating, take the right hand behind your back, palm facing out. You can keep it there. You might even just clasp onto your left arm somewhere and breathe into the head of the arm bone here. Or you can start to slide the right hand up your back. You'll see I'm quite a bit tighter on this side. So this one gets a little more nourishment and kindness. Just breathe right into the head of the arm bone. Think of the space between the front of the shoulder and the collarbone. And let that go. Let's do 3 shoulder squeezes. Inhale, squeeze your shoulders up, make a fist, tighten everything. Feel your neck shorten. Exhale, let it go. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, both shoulders, squeeze, make a fist, tighten the muscles in the arms. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, squeeze up, tighten. Exhale, release. Okay, ready to pick up your paddle or your stick. And if you don't have that, you can do it without, but we'll start with taking it in front of us, taking the palms up, and have your hands about as wide as your shoulders. Knees soft, and I like to keep a little bit wider stance. As you take your breath in, take your paddle up overhead, see if you can keep your arms straight. Reach up, feel the front of your body stretch. And as you breathe out, Take it down, bend your knees. So we'll get the legs involved a little bit because we sit a lot, right? Press into your feet, inhale, rise up. If you're doing this in a chair, you're just doing the upper body part. Exhale, come down. Inhale, legs are strong, rise up. Exhale, fall towards the earth, maybe the water. You can even imagine that your paddle, I like to think of it as being really heavy, engaging all the muscles in my arms, feeling my strong backside and legs. Last one up, and on this last one, pause for a few breaths. Reach up, hug your arm bones towards your ears. Breathe into the front of the body. We tend to round a lot in kayaking, so stretching out the front body. And exhale, let that go. We're going to change the hand position, widen the hands a little bit more, wider than your hips, and take the palms facing down. Now you're going to inhale, lift up, and keep it up there, and start to make some little circles. Just going around, and just explore. Round and round, and then eventually, you might want to let your torso go with the paddle. So bend to one side. You can even bend your knees. Come up and over. Look up at the sun. If you don't have the sun, I'm sending it your way because we have it today. Doesn't happen often, but it's here. Make these circles whichever direction you've chosen. Like you're going into this super paddle mode. And then switch the direction. Whichever way you're going. Allow your knees to bend. Let your arms lead your torso through this gentle rotation and bend. Inhaling up, expanding the front body. Exhaling down. Last one. And you can pause here as well. Just take a few breaths. I like to stretch my fingers a little bit, hold it more with my thumbs. And at this point, maybe widen your feet, take your toes out. Claim your space for today. Make yourself big. We're just a tiny drop in the ocean, as we say, right? But there's many of us, many drops in the ocean altogether. Be your drop today. And then we'll take that down. We're going to continue with the paddle, but we're going to look at stretching the lower body a little bit because we tend to sit, and so the hip flexors get cramped up a bit. So I'm going to take the paddle into my left hand, find my balance on my left foot, and then start to lift the right foot up. And at any time, you could just stop here because you're using your hamstrings to lift the leg up. If it's available, externally rotate the arm. Go back to that one and see if your foot's there. If it's not, that's okay. You can hold the foot there too. You're going to use the paddle for a little more balance. Begin to press the foot into the hand if it's there. And open up the front of that right hip flexor. Feel strong through your left leg. You can slide your hand down the paddle if you want, or bend your elbow. So we call this one dancer pose, but stretching the front of the body and opening up that right arm. So if the foot's here, you can also just externally rotate and take the hand anywhere near the foot. Last breath. This is also part of getting your sea legs on, your balance. So we're going to keep our weight on that left foot. Take the paddle maybe out to the left side or go to a wall, hand at the wall. Take your right leg in front of you. Maybe just take a hold of your knee. Find a nice long spine. If it's available, you can get your foot. I like to take my peace fingers, peace to all of you, to my big toe. And then start to go into just a little extension. Maybe you stop here, maybe you go all the way, but stretch out those hamstrings and notice you're stretching your arm too. So plug your arm bone into your shoulder. Stand up tall. And as I look at my sustainability code, I've already decided my favorite one is number 8. There is life beneath us. That's what it's about, being out on the water, watching the life beneath us. Take a moment to be steady. A few more breaths. And take that down. Slowly coming back down to both feet. Whew. So you're making friends with your paddle perhaps before we even go out. We're going to be switching sides. So paddle can go into the right hand. And just find yourself on your right foot. See if you can begin to lift that left leg up. And I like to, before I grab the foot, to feel my hamstrings and my glute muscles turn on, because we're going to be sitting on those for a long time, right? They're going to be inactive. So use them for a moment. Wake them up. Could even stay here, or externally rotate that arm. See if you can get a hold of the foot somewhere. Use your paddle to help balance. And then if you've got your foot, push the foot into the hand and resist with the hand to give yourself a little more stretch through the arm. A beautiful dancer pose with help from the paddle. Drishti is your gazing point. I only wish I was gazing down at the large kelps swaying, the sea urchins. I'd show them all to you if I could. And then see if we want to switch. Take the paddle out to the right side. We'll say hello to our hamstrings on the left leg. Maybe just coming up to the knee first, aligning your ears, your shoulders, and your hips. And if you're feeling a little more playful, and it's okay to fall out of your place, right? The boat rocks from time to time. That's okay. You can take your peace fingers, grab your big toe, peace out right there. Nice little hip stretch, or go for the extension. And if you're extending, plug the left arm bone into the shoulder. Feel that nice shoulder stretch too. Taking a few breaths in the stillness. Last breath. You can let your foot come down. And we're going to let the paddle come down too. Hi, friend. Did you have a good swim? Dogs always have the right idea. Follow them to the water. Last thing we're just going to do is move the whole body a little bit more before we sit. So take your hands to your thighs. And as you exhale, turn your toes out, widen your feet. As you exhale, just come down a little bit into your sit bones. So lower your center of gravity. As you inhale, come up. Exhale, sit down. Just starting with that, waking up the legs. And then we're going to go one more time into rotational movement, because I find that so important, waking up those core muscles. So now you see if you can kind of sit down a little bit deeper. And as you exhale in that seat, rotate your shoulders towards your left leg. You can inhale, come all the way up to give your legs a little break. Exhale, rotate to the right. Or if you're looking for something a little bit spicier, keep your seat. Exhale to the left. Come back to center just with the head over the pelvis. Exhale to the right. Just moving through rotation through the torso. Not the arms. Arms are quiet. Feeling the strength of your legs. Last one to each side. And then come up. You can heel toe your feet together. Take your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Hug your arms towards your ears. Feel the spaciousness of your heart. And I hope that you get to go kayaking too or be near water. I believe the heart loves the sound, the smell, the movement of water, so much of our body. Peace, joy, love, and light. Battle. That's really awkward.
All right.
Kind of reminds me of going on through the channel on Brown Lake. I don't know why, there's nothing like that, but I just got this channel feel.